Welcome to the 2020 State of Bonita. I'm Greg Cox, Chairman of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, and I've been honored to represent the 1st District for, well, almost the last 26 years. These certainly are different times, and in a normal year, I would love to meet each and every one of you in person, shake your hands, and talk about the issues and projects in Bonita. But as we all know, this is anything but a normal year. So I thank you for your patience and your flexibility as we try our hands at holding a virtual State of Bonita. Obviously, the biggest issue we've had to deal with this past year is the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to acknowledge our residents and businesses who have demonstrated resiliency during these unprecedented times, especially those in the health field, including our hospitals and community clinics. Thank you for keeping San Diego going and for helping us weather the storm and responsibly following the public health order safety precautions. Despite our best efforts, we know the pandemic has created economic loss for our small businesses, and some, unfortunately, have been closed, and many are struggling. That's why the County Board of Supervisors approved over $26 million for our small business stimulus grant program. This resulted in over 2,827 grant awards throughout the county, and in the entire portion of South County, in my district, we've provided grants to 603 businesses totaling $5.5 million. Now, some of these grants are really pretty small, but they will make a huge difference for those mom and pop stores, and every business has had a different set of challenges, but all are equally important to the economic life of our region. It's my hope that these grants help in this hour of need. Through the neighborhood reinvestment and community enhancement programs, I've had the opportunity to allocate $127,275 to our Bonita neighborhood nonprofit organizations to support their work during these trying times. You know, I've had the opportunity to serve in elective office now for, well, it's a little over 40 years, 14 and a half years on the Chula Vista City Council, and then 26 years on the Board of Supervisors. But I have to tell you, I think my favorite projects are the ones that have been in the Bonita community. We've worked on focusing on Bonita projects that have brought not only satisfaction to the residents in our community, but have truly made a difference in the community. We've had the opportunity to improve trails, build libraries, and make sure our residents enjoy where they live. I want to highlight a few new projects that have taken a lot of coordination and teamwork over the last year or so. Let's start off with the Sweetwater Bicycle Skills Park. If you remember, we kicked this off earlier in the year, and it's been a highly visited park ever since it was completed in January of this year. This is the county's first bike park. It's on 4 acres, just below the Sweetwater Summit Campground and off of San Miguel Road and Proctor Valley Road. The bike park features amenities for riders of all ages and skill levels, from beginner to pro. Amenities include a kids zone, jump lines, a pump track, flow tracks, and a skills zone. Design and construction of the project was funded at $1.9 million. Right now, we're working on expanding the parking lot and adding restrooms as the use of this site increases. Some residents have raised concerns about traffic safety on San Miguel, and a bike lane may be possible, and we were going to be coordinating with our staff and with the Sweetwater Community Planning Group to include this on the community plan. One of my favorite projects over the years has been the Bonita Sunnyside Library. You know, we opened up a brand new library in 2005, which replaced a very, very small library that was in a commercial center. But this year we completed a $4.4 million expansion, and that expansion has provided an additional 3,200 square feet of space, primarily used to expand the children's area and adding 4 study rooms. In addition to the physical expansion, there's new shelving, furniture, and carpet has been replaced throughout the entire library. The Friends of the Library bookstore was shifted to the west within the building. We opened up the library on September 20th, And as we all realize, as a result of COVID-19, unfortunately, we're only allowed to have 25% capacity at any given time. With the opening of this new library expansion, I want to let everybody know that we have some beautiful coffee mugs from the Bonita Sunnyside Library that will be available for the first 500 individuals who come into the library after this video is presented to the Sweetwater Community Planning Group. Another one of the great treasures of Bonita is the Bonita Museum and Cultural Center. Over the last year, we've made a number of upgrades to that facility. One of the most exciting ones that you're going to see probably after the first of the year is a 7-foot-tall, life-size bronze horse, which has been sculpted by our own Bonita resident, Mel Lawson. You know, Mel is somebody that has lived in the Bonita community for a long time. Most people don't realize it, but he is the only member of both the Cowboy Artists of America and the Traditional Cowboy Arts Association. And he's had many exhibits in the Bonita Museum and Cultural Center over the years, including having the opportunity to sculpt this horse and a previous horse that was commissioned by somebody acquiring his art. We've also been able to add additional NRP funds to the Bonita Museum and Cultural Center, which has enabled them to add tables, chairs, a storage shed, security, accessories, and an interior wall museum, which allows them to hang up art within the museum. This is a treasure for the Bonita community, and I'm glad to have had the opportunity to work with the many fine people at the Bonita Museum and Cultural Center. We all know that trails are really important to the Bonita community, and that's why we are looking at how we can install a new, bigger trailhead sign to mark the entrance to the Tiber Trail. And one of the things we are evaluating is considering a bridge crossing, which is anticipated to cost $150,000 to $200,000 for design, environmental, and construction. And I have to tell you, we don't have the money identified yet, but we're working on that, also with the idea to widen the east side of Proctor Valley Road where the Tiber Trail ends. You know, one of the remnants of the old sand mining operations in the Bonita Valley is Morrison Pond. And I just think that's a tremendous resource that has greater applicability for public use. So what we did was we completed in January of this year some new educational signs about Morrison Pond. 6 large panel signs were added to the trail around the pond, and they discussed topics such as its history, its biology, and ecology of the area. There are 7 smaller arboretum-style signs to identify native plants in the area, and funding for this was at $85,000 and again was covered through our neighborhood reinvestment program. One of the projects we're working on now is a complete restoration of Morrison Pond, which we hope to identify the funding for shortly. It's going to cost about $650,000, but it'll really clean up the area around the pond and remove some of the old sand dredge equipment and other trash and debris that was left over from the sand mining operations. You know, some of the best ideas for the Bonita community have come from residents in the community. A number of years ago, we had a couple of people that were suggesting that what we needed in the Sweetwater Valley was a community garden. This project was funded with $736,000 and was completed in July of last year. There's approximately 200 garden plots, including 2 ADA plots with raised beds. Most plots are 20 feet by 20 feet, with some smaller, about 10 feet by 20 feet. The pinery and pumpkin patch will continue to use the front portion of the site for seasonal activities. A monument sign has been requested by the community, and I'm happy to share with you that we've provided the funding to go ahead and start the construction of that monument sign, which will be installed by our Department of Parks and Recreation over the next few months. One of the great treasures of the Sweetwater Valley is the Summit Park Campground. Over the years, we've been working with our staff to put in a shade structure which would go over the amphitheater. This project has now been designed, and we're working on the fabrication of this shade structure. It's going to be some sails that will actually provide a shaded area around the amphitheater. The installation is going to start probably in November of this year and should be completed by the end of this year. It was funded with $250,000 from neighborhood reinvestment funds. Speaking of the Sweetwater Summit Campground, I have exciting news to share with you that the campground expansion, which has been talked about for a good number of years, is about ready to start. We're going to be adding 20 to 30 new campsites to the campground. The Sweetwater Summit Campground is booked out about 80 to 90% capacity throughout the entire year. And without any question, this is the most successful campground that we have in the county park system. This expansion also includes expanding the photovoltaic system at the campground. As a result of this, we will actually produce all of the energy we need for the operation of that campground. In fact, the Sweetwater Summit Campground will be the first campground in the county system that will be able to pay its own way. In other words, the people that are using the system and the parks there will actually be fully funding the operating costs. It's expected that this project, which is funded at $4.2 million, should be under construction in spring of this next year. In addition to the improvements to the Summit Park Campground, we're also evaluating whether there should be a zip line, which could be a part of this park project. The feasibility study is currently underway, and we're analyzing 4 different site locations for this future zip line. The feasibility study will provide important information to determine the best location based on length, speed, and view. The study is set to be completed this next summer and will inform the feasibility of this future project. Over the years, I know we've had some concerns raised about people parking on San Miguel Road in front of Summit Park and basically camping there. This continues to be a concern for road safety. No parking signs are installed along Summit Meadows Road in order to prevent vehicles from parking and staying overnight. A short section on the east side of this road is not signed in order for fishermen to line up in the morning for the Sweetwater Authority fishing program. For San Miguel Road, we will coordinate with staff to work with our Sweetwater Community Planning Group to investigate and provide an update at a later date. One of the most popular trails we have in the entire county of San Diego is the trail that goes around the Chula Vista Municipal Golf Course. We're in the final phases of design for some improvements on that section of the trail that goes from Willow Street approximately up to the entrance of Roar Park. Construction is expected in late December or early January of 2021. In addition to the road improvement projects we just talked about, we have a number of slides here that are showing some additional infrastructure projects that are being completed by the Department of Public Works. They include the following: San Miguel Road Sidewalk Project, Allen School Road Sidewalk Project, and this is in addition to the Sweetwater Road projects that we talked about a little while ago. One of the things that really changes the complexion of a community is the removal of overhead utility lines. Over the years, we've had a number of projects that have removed hundreds of utility poles along Sweetwater Road and a couple of other locations. And we have 2 projects that are being worked on right now. One of them is on Bonita Road from about 1,000 feet west of Frisbee Street to San Miguel Road. This project will eliminate 14 utility poles and associated overhead lines. It's currently in design at San Diego Gas and Electric. Construction is expected to begin in the summer of 2021. The second project is on San Miguel Road from Bonita Road to Proctor Valley Road. This project will eliminate about 68 utility poles and associated overhead lines in multiple phases. It currently is also in design at San Diego Gas and Electric. Phase 1 of this project is expected to begin in the spring of 2022. I know that one of the questions that always comes up is, what are the schedule of roads to be resurfaced in the Bonita community? Well, we completed 7 miles of road resurfacing in 2019, and so far 4.5 miles in 2020, and we're beginning construction now through early 2021 on another 3.5 miles. The link to our road resurfacing website is in front of you, and if you want to see what projects are being anticipated and what the schedule of completion is, please check that website. There's a small pocket of land called Lincoln Acres that's unincorporated on the north side of the Sweetwater Valley. Over the years, we've been working on the Lincoln Acres Park and community room and library facilities that have been a vital gathering spot for this community since 1947, when the library first opened on the west side of National City. In 2013, the county completed renovations at Lincoln Acre Park and constructed a brand new library. Renovations included refurbishing the basketball court and adding a children's playground. In early 2019, the Department of Parks and Recreation acquired the property directly east of the existing park. You see it outlined in yellow before you. The size of the existing park will be significantly increased, and the library park will include not only a community garden, but also a monument honoring those who served at the fire station that used to be on this site. The Department of Parks and Recreation held 4 different public outreach meetings to get input from the community on what they wanted to see in this new expansion, and the public outreach was completed in spring 2020 to include park expansions. The residents have identified a walking path, shaded picnic areas with barbecues, restrooms, parking, an open grass area, a community garden, and exercise stations. Construction documents were completed this past spring, and the project is set to break ground later this year. This will be a $4.2 million project, which includes the design, the environmental analysis, and construction. And it should be completed in the spring of 2021. Over the years, I've had an opportunity to work in a cooperative vein with the Sweetwater Authority to complete a trail system around the Sweetwater Reservoir. This would be approximately about a 14-mile loop. We've been working on many of these segments over the years, and the south and west sides of the reservoir have been in place now for many years. Supervisor Diane Jacob and I funded $100,000 for design and environmental review of segments 5, 6, and 7, including a staging area that's going to be located right next to Lakeview Drive. These segments are the westernmost portion of the trails north of the reservoir. This fiscal year, an additional $600,000 was appropriated to finish the design and environmental review for the staging area in segments 5 through 7. This will also fund construction, which is anticipated to begin in the summer of 2021. One of the other regional parks that is in my supervisorial district is the Otay Valley Regional Park. And I have to share with you some great things that are happening in that area. You know, the County of San Diego entered into an agreement back in 2018 with the Boy Scouts of San Diego and Imperial County. We gave them an exclusive right to lease some of that property in order to complete a campground. We've worked very diligently with the Boy Scouts, and we've been very blessed by having a number of donors step forward, including Diane Basher, who has funded over half of the cost of construction of this campground. The improvements are going to be a significant improvement for recreational activities for the young people in our community. In August of this year, the contractor mobilized on site to begin grading, and they're now casting the concrete for the platforms and the other amenities that will be a part of this treasure. The zip line phase is currently in environmental review and will be sent for permits shortly. The project is expected to be completed by December of this year. The amenities will include not only the zip line, but also an archery range and an amphitheater, and the ability to accommodate 100 campers on the upper level, and the ability to have jamborees down in the Otay Valley Regional Park for up to 400 additional campers. This is going to be a tremendous addition to the recreational amenities that we offer in the Otay Valley Regional Park. One of the other projects we're working on in the Otay Valley Regional Park is a community garden. The county has funded $100,000 for a feasibility study, design, and environmental analysis of a community garden as a part of this regional park. The community garden site will be at least 1 acre. The preferred location for this garden is in Chula Vista on the corner of 27th Street and Favor Street. Coordination is currently underway with the City of Chula Vista regarding the implementation. The City of Chula Vista is also currently exploring the possibility of using a portion of this site as a temporary bridge shelter for the homeless. Because of the tremendous success that we've had with the Sweetwater Bike Park, we're going to be developing a bicycle skills park in the Otay Valley Regional Park. Now, the site that we're working on is approximately 3.2 acres. It's just north of the Otay River and west of Interstate 805. The site is relatively flat and will use prefabricated jumps and rollers. This bike park will have elements for riders of all ages, from beginner to advanced. The County of San Diego has provided over $1 million in funding for the planning, design, and construction of this bicycle skills park. It's kind of ironic. This actual site is in the city of San Diego on property owned by the city of Chula Vista, and the county is providing the funding to complete this project. Talk about regional cooperation. Once the county completes the construction of this bike park, the city of Chula Vista will take over the responsibility to manage and operate the bike park. We've talked about the camping opportunities that are available for people of this region in the Sweetwater Regional Park and the Otay Valley Regional Park, but I also wanted to share with you a very unique opportunity that we're working on right now, and that is to develop a campground in the Tijuana River Valley Regional Park. The addition of the campground will enhance an already thriving river park system in South Bay that currently includes baseball fields, a community garden, bird and butterfly garden, and over 22 miles of trails. This campground will enable visitors to extend their park stay overnight by providing camping accommodations, including camping for tents, RVs, and we'll have some yurts that people can rent for family usage. The campground will also include nature education amenities such as an amphitheater, interpretive signs, and trails. Campsites are currently under construction, and completion is expected to be the latter part of this year. Homelessness is a recurring issue that we're dealing with throughout the County of San Diego, and we know we have some issues with homeless in the Sweetwater Valley. Addressing the presence of homelessness is certainly a daily priority for our county park rangers, including the daily patrol of trails and open spaces throughout the Sweetwater River Valley and removal of trash and debris. The Parks Department works in partnership with the Sheriff's Department and the Department of Integrative Services, working with the homeless to offer support services with the goal of getting homeless individuals off the street. Information regarding health services and housing are provided to assist individuals with medical and housing needs. The hotline number is 619-472-7572. Since the last State of Bonita Address, the Sweetwater Hot Team has completed close to 700 site assessments. As is our custom at the State of Bonita, I encourage you to reach out to us with any questions or concerns you'd like to have addressed. Please scroll below and you'll see the e-comment form. We are more than happy to get back to you concerning any of your questions or concerns. Well, as you know, this is my last State of the Bonita Address as a county supervisor, and I want to take a moment to say thank you for the opportunity to serve this incredible community. Over the years, we've worked together to address challenges like flooding and traffic, but also to celebrate accomplishments like the opening of our library and the community center, the expansion of our parks and trails. This has been more than just a job to me. It's been the adventure of a lifetime, and I've loved serving you. I won't go completely away. I've lived my entire life here in South County, and I hope that if you see me hanging around in Bonita having a cup of coffee or simply walking around one of the trails, you'll come up and say hello. Thank you for the opportunity to represent you on the Board of Supervisors, and thanks for the memories. We're gonna have some music coming up. What would be a good song? Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories. That's the blue above. Da, 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 da. Yeah, just in case I might get it right. You know? Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while.